Maria Cabanos, and I play Sailor Saturn and Hotaru Tomoe in Sailor Moon. My very first voice acting job was on a show called K-On! And at the time, I was working as a production assistant, but I had done that because I wanted to understand how the industry worked from the other side. And they let me audition, and it was my very first studio audition, and I booked it. And then after that, I just kept booking more and more, and it kind of just snowballed into where I am now. I am well rested and healthy. I drink lots of water before. I don't drink any milk, so that there's no like phlegm or anything when we go in to record. And I make sure to do, when I first get cast, I make sure to do a good amount of like research into the character if I can, to see, you know, how they are, and we get a lot of that from the director when we go in. But I kind of just let it happen while we're in Ryan and everyone that we're going in the right direction. And yeah, it's kind of hard to explain. It just kind of happens naturally. I try not to put too much thought into it because you can kind of get stuck if you keep thinking about it too much, and you become kind of rigid. So it's good to be flexible when you're in there. I think one of my most memorable is Madoka from Madoka Magica. That was one of my biggest roles. I think it still is. And that show was like really good for me, and I felt like I learned so much about acting through that show. Before that, I'd only done comedies, and this was my first drama. And there's a lot of drama in that, and I had to have a really big range of emotion. So I grew a lot from that role. But I think my favorite role that I've ever gotten to play was a character named Minori Kushieda in Toradora. I think, and the funny thing is, she's just a normal girl. Like, normally I play, like, you know, magical girls with, like, crazy things, animals, but then because she was just a normal girl, I felt like I got to explore a lot of feelings and emotions, and everything felt really real and personal. So I think I'm most proud of my performance as Minori Kushieda. I love playing Hotaru. I feel very close to her in the fact that, like, we have a very similar personality when I was growing up. And, like, watching her journey throughout the show, it gets me kind of choked up. I feel like it's really sad, but it's a really good message. And I've loved being able to see all the sides and facets of Hotaru. I think that was probably after high school. I never thought that this was a job you could really have. I grew up in a family where, you know, you're supposed to be have your own business or be a doctor or a nurse or something like that. And I tried that out for a while, and I figured out for myself that that's not what I wanted to do. And I've loved anime and voice acting since I was a kid. And I decided one day that, like, I have one life and I might as well do what I love to do. So I just took a really big risk and just went for it. And I think that's when I tried everything else and I knew that it wasn't making me happy, that's when I knew that I wanted to do this. Oh, I don't get that question very often. I feel like that's something that I think about a lot, but now that I'm thinking, I put on the spot, I don't know. I like the word willow. I hate the word ampersand. Do you ever, I don't know, do you have words that you hate? Like, I feel like ointment is a popular one that people hate, and moist. I agree with all those. Yeah. I think I'm always inspired every day, just everything around me. I've been told that artists see the world in a different way. And for a while, that was like really hard for me to comprehend that like everyone sees the world through different glasses, kind of. And I'm inspired by everything that I see, and I have like tons of notebooks, and I write down everything that I feel, everything that I take photos, everything that I see, and I feel like just being open and to the world and to experiences like greatly affects my craft. Sounds kind of sad, but like I don't watch the news too often because I just kind of get depressed, and it's kind of a sad reality check that the world can be, you know, I love to think that the world is always good and there's good in everyone, but I know that there's, corruption and lying and all that stuff, and I guess that kind of thing kind of gets me down. So I acknowledge that it's there, but I try not to dwell. This is weird, but I like the sound of when you open a jar, like a peanut butter, and you rip the thing off the top. And I like the sound of ocean waves crashing. I actually have an app on my phone that does that for me at night. But then sometimes if it's too close to my head, I feel like I'm drowning and I can't sleep. So it's a give and take. I think everyone hates the nails on the chalkboard sound. I don't like the sound of sirens. I don't like. Oh, the sound when you have styrofoam and you like rub them together like two pieces. I hate that sound so bad. Yeah. Or forks and knives on a ceramic plate when it scratches really like high pitch. Yeah. I think it's anything really high and like, yeah, super grating. I hate those. Yeah. I would love to be an interior designer or a stylist. I'm always really like I'm constantly curating my house, and I'm always going through my wardrobe, and like it's very manicured, and I'm very meticulous about it. So I feel like that would be a really fun occupation if I wasn't an actress. I think it's important to know that it's going to be hard, and I know that's like really hard for people to hear, but there is a lot of rejection, and you're not always going to be feeling good. You're going to have like slumps and your down days, but I think it's important to know that you just have to keep going, because if you stop at those days, then that's it. But I think like all of my like friends and acting colleagues can tell you that everyone has gone through that, and you just need to keep going.